What's up, guys? Welcome to Between Two Nerds. I'm Davis.
I'm Schroeder.
And between us is Jirard Khalil, a.k.a. the Completionist, a.k.a. the Beard Man, a.k.a. Dragon Rider, and the final one is a.k.a. Shirako the Laser Clown.
I forgot. I keep forgetting about that one.
You have so many AKAs that because of how I have to introduce you at times, I do AKA to other people here, and they just don't.
And it doesn't feel as good. Yeah, you're just like AKA.
Yeah,
oh,
like
and
Josh.
it.
I was like Josh, AKA, and he said
It's
AKA.
Line. Funny third thing.
How you doing, baby?
I'm doing good.
This guy.
I'm doing good.
Let's get the
I'm glad to
going.
be between these two nerds. Right
Betwixt
us.
Let's first of all let's talk about you.
Sure.
Let's go. Jazz me up.
What's going on with
what's going on
with
in
the
your life.
Gerard?
All right. Well, completionist-wise, season 3 just started, so that's super exciting.
It did.
Going into the 3rd year of the completionist, which is kind of
Insane.
insane.
Every new season, you get an even higher quality intro.
Yeah,
I love
that's.
So
if only the content were Zing! Gotcha.
It's pretty depressing when you do an insane video like me, and it's like it gets only so many views, and then you see someone do a let's play or a vlog, and just the views shatter mine. It's like, well, I guess I go complete another game.
They're like, oh, okay, let's do this game now.
Yeah. Let me
single tier.
Guess I'll play Dark Souls and put 156 hours into it.
Oh no! Why?
I did it, and you know what? It was not as bad as I thought it was.
Really?
Yeah. The game has a lot more of a hype to it than people let on.
Oh. Maybe people are just shittier gamers now.
I think that kind of what it is. It just doesn't tell you about things, but through trial and error, you can get Dark Souls down pretty easily.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing speed runs
yeah.
of it almost by the time I was done.
You complete fully complete a game a week, so I think you it's probably easier for you because this is your goddamn job.
Well, when I play the games, especially if they're games I don't know, I'm completely lost for the first 2 or 3 playthroughs. Mm-hmm. But by playthrough 5, 6, and 7, I'm like turbo lightning, ready to go.
By 6 playthroughs.
Yeah.
It's good that you get it by the 4th, 5, and 6.
Dude, Metal Gear Solid, I took me 36 playthroughs, 156 hours until I got Big Boss Mode. 2 hours and 36 minutes. The world record for Big Boss Mode is 2 hours and 16 minutes.
Damn.
I was 15
in a
minutes.
week.
You were almost good.
I was almost good.
You almost completed it.
I almost did.
Season 3, what do you got? What games can you tease it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you got
So actually today, at the same time as this podcast is aired, I will release in October to kick off season 3. We're doing collaboration month, where each week on the show we collaborate with another YouTuber. So last week we did Castlevania, the very first one, which is a very freaking hard game.
Yeah, it is.
I did that with Pat the NES Punk, who's he's not the nerd, but he's just as legacy filled as the nerd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then this week I did the Heart of Darkness for the PS1 with Cat Icarus, who if you don't know who he is, he's amazing. He's very funny guy. He's from Britain, and he's always has me in stitches. He's a very funny guy. And then the week after, I'm doing the Illusion of Gaia for the Super Nintendo with Pro Jared.
I gotta stop you because it took me a second to really process. Did you just use the word "in stitches"?
Yeah,
in
conversation.
Yeah.
Oh,
because
God.
he laughed
had me
so
in
hard.
stitches.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. No,
term.
Young people don't use that term. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I
get
guess
off track.
I'm old.
Sorry.
You got Moxie Davis to point that out. All right.
All right. Go. So who next week you're doing? Matt Pat.
No, not Matt Pat.
You threw me off. Pro Jared.
I'm sorry, Pro Jared. We're doing the Illusion of Gaia, and then the last week in October we're doing for Halloween, Jesse Cox.
Ooh.
We're gonna be doing Dead Space 2. Jesse
Cox.
Nice.
Not familiar.
That
with
is a
that.
good.
Not familiar with that person.
You know what?
No.
That's a good. I mean, I hear he was on our podcast once and he was really wrong about things, but
I mean,
yeah.
Steam box was not a box of steam.
That
Clearly.
needs to be a thing when you power the Steam box on and it just steams.
God.
I don't know why. That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I would love it if Valve was a secret society whose entire purpose between all Steam as it is now is all just to get money to unveil their secret revitalization of steam powered everything where they're like steampunk in real life.
I would really love
All the steampunk kids would be so happy. They're like, yes!
everyone at
It's
the
finally come
those
true.
corner booths at conventions
Yes.
are like, validation.
I really want Ben Kingsley to do like the keynote
God.
for Valve, and whenever they do a thing, and just like talk about the Steam box or whatever it is, and every time he does that like speech from Shutter Island, we talk about evaporating through the walls, and like that's how great Valve stuff is.
I thought you were going with Ben Kingsley, so like halfway through the speech, he'll just like reveal something totally different. Be like, "Oh, surprise, fanboys!"
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay,
No,
so
that sounds like a pretty good slate.
Yeah,
I
that's
think our
awesome.
invitation was lost in the mail, but you know, it's okay.
Oh no, well, hold on. Let's be real.
I'm kidding.
No.
Oh my god.
No, I've been to be fair, since episode 25 of The Completionist, I have been slowly working on completing Super Smash Bros. Brawl because I want to include all 5 of you guys on it. And it's
like
been
all the trophies.
all the
everything?
Oh my
yeah,
God.
Yeah, it's taken. I think I've actually I didn't record this. I was so bummed, but it's
Pass. I
it's,
want an easy game.
it's such an it's such an achievement to do. But when you play the game long enough, an achievement pops up and it says you have played this game long enough so that like 1 cent per hour equals the amount of money that you spent $49.99 on Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Like I legitimately got that, and I wasn't recording.
That is amazing.
Is that? Wait.
It's like I forget what it was. It
Let's see,
may
it's
be
100 cents
it's like
to $1.
yeah.
So that's 100 times 50,000.
I think it's something. I think it's not a cent. It may be $1 an hour or something like that.
My math is terrible.
I forget
That
what
would
it
be-
is, but
whatever. Look.
it's pretty rad. But
Yeah.
I've been playing that one ever since I met you guys.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, that's a while.
Yeah, it's been a while,
It's been,
but
what, 2 years?
yeah.
A long
It's
time.
funny for
We're
those of you guys
old.
who don't know. I started making videos because of like 4 people, and the Warpstone guys were one of them. So I was a total fanboy when I met them.
God.
I was at your guys' place. I think it was it someone's birthday? I don't know,
It
but
was. Is this
Was
the
it
night?
St. Patty's
is this the
Day?
night of
the box wine?
Is it
it was Smash Bros. where JT just
Yes.
lost
Oh.
lost his shit and walked out. But and you I
We don't need to bring up. We don't need to bring
don't
up
bring up-
old rivalries. I don't brag about my Smash Bros. Skills, but if you're gonna come into my house and talk some shit
Yep.
and lose at your own obscure rule set, don't be a bitch.
I tell you guys, I hadn't even met Davis, but he was so drunk but so passionate while playing this game. I didn't know.
It was a great match.
Like I was afraid to upset him because I was like a big fan of the Warpstone guys, and just seeing him like so into Smash Bros. At the way that and how inebriated
Everyone
he
at the
was.
party was. It got intense.
It got
It was
really
like a-
intense,
It was like
yeah.
a sports
That was-
movie level of. But
And
here's
we were
the
taking shots
secret.
of Pirate Bay rum.
Of
like,
Pi-
yeah, it was
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
The secret is that I play better drunk Smash Bros. Because every time we play Smash Bros, we play Super Smashed. So it's all the drunkenness. Like
Yeah.
if I play sober, I'm not actually that. Well, I'm still probably pretty good, but when I get in drunk mode, then it just gets like
Because you're that intense.
Yep.
yeah.
And that's how it was when we played that one weekend. We got super hammered for like 2 days straight and played
God.
PlayStation All Stars
Yes.
online. You and I just like I didn't even play the game.
We
with
even
them.
beat those stupid ass double Sackboy teams that were
Yeah.
like they would sit in the corner. Oh,
It was our team of
Alcohol.
Kratos and
Drake.
and Drake,
And Drake.
and it was and that made me go out and get the game. Like after playing it with you,
It was so much fun.
it was so much fun.
That was a good month. That was a good
Well,
month.
then when did we switch to playing? Then I just I
We
don't
stopped
know.
playing
I
fighters
think we
for a
just
while.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, when the next Super Smash Bros. Comes out, we'll get
I'm
back
I'm
into it.
excited.
My
I'm really
body.
I'm,
My body.
Smash
already.
Brothers X and Y. No.
Cool. So then, Gio, what are your November? What are your November plans?
So November, I'm kind of debating doing a Zelda month, but Peanut Butter Gamer does Zelda month every November, so that's kind of his thing. But we have like Wind Waker just came out in October.
Yeah, dude.
In my lineup, I have Ocarina of Time and Master Quest, which is gonna suck. So I'm playing both those from the ground up.
Master Quest is really hard.
Mhm.
I had this conversation with some people on my Final Fantasy 14 friends who were like, it's like reworked dungeons
Yeah.
and a like
And
reverse
it's flipped.
world.
So you don't
but
know.
that I cannot. I had to stop playing after a while because the reversed world hurt me too much. My brain. I like could not navigate.
Because like your nostalgia memories of playing the
it's
first
like,
one.
It's like if I'd never played Zelda, I would be able to play Master Quest better than having played it because it's just inverted horizontally, and after a while, it was like physically disorienting. After a while, where I'm like, I can't do this, so I just stopped playing it.
It's much better on the 3DS. Because when you beat Ocarina of Time
That's why I
on
played
3DS.
the Master Quest.
Oh yeah, but the graphics are there, and it's like you feel like it's a more.
Are just gorgeous.
Yeah.
God, this is so good.
Did you guys ever see that troll joke post that someone made the 1DS? It
No,
was
what
like
is that?
I wish this was an actual thing, but essentially it was you bought like it was like the 1DS. It was the week after the 2DS was announced, and it was it was a gamepad, but you used Bluetooth to stream your games to an iPad or a television. And I'm thinking, like, that sounds kind of dumb. And you think about it, and you're like, imagine playing Ocarina of Time 3DS on a massive screen in great graphics.
That actually sounds.
That's like pretty dope.
Shit, you made that sound really cool.
Yeah, like and then I found out it was fake, and I got so.
It's the Super 3DS.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, I
bummed.
love 3D, so I would love that if they ever made it. And it's not gonna be this generation, or there'll be a place where you'll be able to just do that, like get a
You
3D
just swipe
TV
it, yeah.
and play huge 3D.
I mean,
Big Boy 3D.
Or just Oculus Rift that shit,
Ooh.
Yeah.
and you can because it already comes with track. Nintendo, buy Oculus Rifts.
I think they're still
No more DS games. Oculus Rift.
All Oculus Rift games.
they're still suffering from the Virtual Boy, guys.
Hey,
Whoa.
I love the Virtual Boy.
Whoa.
I have played that for upwards of an hour. I think is the maximum time, and I never got disoriented. I never got sick.
Nope.
I just got, sick and tired
Of a terrible game.
of the games that I play. But I love the Virtual Boy is like, we're now at that level where we can look back and we're like, they tried.
They tried.
In theory, it was dope. In theory, it was.
I have to track down.
The Wario
I need to
Land.
track down the Wario Land because I didn't realize until.
You have Wario
You
Land?
have it?
I think I have it. Yeah, I had a fan. You mean the Virtual Boy one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I had a fan send me
you
a
have a Virtual
Virtual Boy with like 7 or 8 games. I'd love if I could somehow capture Virtual Boy footage. I would, because that'd be awesome.
Super smart people out there, because I know you exist, because the world,
Some
technology.
Law of
exists.
averages has to dictate that.
Yes.
There's a few left.
I would love to do some joint.
It'd be fun.
Let's play as a
Yeah.
Virtual
Of
Boy.
Virtual Boy games.
We'll figure it out. I actually have a. I don't know. I like it. It's fun. It's cute. I like it.
It's
And
there. It was on your desk for a while.
I was told that. Well, now then we use it for a shoot. Now it's not there, but I'll bring it back out. But didn't they say they were gonna do Virtual Boy remakes on the 3DS?
They
should.
did. They did.
Didn't they talk about that?
They should. It's
The
so
intro-
easy.
The
It's
intro,
so easy.
like, when you turn on the 3DS, it has like the red waves and the black background. I'm like, is that a reference, or am I just making it be a reference in my head?
Oh, speaking of which, not only with Pokemon X and Y coming out today, but the 2DS comes out today as well.
Yes.
Which
Yep.
is kind of a weird.
No, we talked about that. Yeah, a while ago. It's like it's for kids. Like
I mean, let's be
The
real.
2DS
It's not designed for us.
It's
you
like
know,
those
it's
leapfrog consoles. It's
Yeah.
like every. I mean,
But it's a
Yeah,
it is.
no, but it's like
it's
but
better.
it is everything's bigger. I think
it's cheap. I think it'll survive a fall.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. Like it's definitely made for younger kids, and it's made for
It is kind
parents
of. It
who
is
maybe
kind
are on
of,
a budget and have to buy. And
Or
kids are
people that
screaming at
are
them
on
about Pokemon. You know,
ballers that are on a budget.
ballers
as
on a
well.
budget. You know.
Well, I also have. I mean, there are a lot of people that just don't care about the 3D.
Yeah.
And so that's fine. You for the price of that and Pokemon, it's the same thing as just buying a regular 3DS. So
Yeah.
I think my only issue with the 2DS is that I'm not really a fan of the design. I mean, granted, again, the 3DS is meant.
I don't like having the controller.
it's like
being
kind of
so far
concave, it, like-
far up the
Yeah.
the lower screen. That just looks weird. To me.
Yeah, it kind of like bends inward
like,
a bit.
I'm-
It's
I
kind of
already
weird.
because it's like with the Wii U gamepad. I already it's already because your
Too
hands
high
are like
up?
at the
Yeah.
screen. You're like I already am not. I'm used to like holding my Game Boy down and or DS or 3DS
See,
now. But
Yeah.
that
But see, you just to kind of bring our conversation full circle about that hoax 1DS thing, how much of a missed opportunity did Nintendo do with this to just simply put a 3DS cart insert on the Wii U gamepad to then finally just have a 3DS in your Wii U?
Back when
So
we
like the
back when we
GameCube and
were
the
like
GBA?
back when we looked
Yeah.
at the Wii U at E3, we were like, they should have like 3DS support. Remember we were
It-
talking
it-
like the second screen was already there.
It just- it
so you
makes
could have
sense.
the first screen. Yes, yeah, we've
If you
totally
thi-
talked
if,
about
if
this.
you think about it, the Wii U
Yeah.
is a 3DS. It's just that
On the console.
yeah, it's like why not? It can't be that hard to program.
Also, even if it's not even that necessary, I love the connectivity between devices. It
Yes.
gets
Yeah,
me. It gets
absolutely.
me aroused.
Yeah,
That's why you still have a Vita.
I'm
That,
super,
and I'm telling you, one day it's gonna be worth
I still have my
something.
Vita.
I
It'll be collector's
haven't-
item.
it'll-
I kept the box.
Hey.
I always keep the boxes.
hey, I'm very excited for PS Vita TV.
Sorry, I was
The
holding
fact that you
thing.
can stream, it's cool.
Oh, that one.
the fact that you can stream Vita games to your
Yeah.
TV, that makes me happy.
That is a good segue. Also, the last
Into our
news
into our news
because
segments,
that's
because-
the first thing I want to talk about things streaming to consoles. So
Have you heard of the?
Have you heard of the
Madcatz
Madcatz MOJO?
Ouya?
No.
So Madcatz announced, and I just saw it on IGN a couple months
Yeah,
ago.
no,
And I don't know a lot of people talk about it, but it was their answer to the Ouya. It is their own it's an Android console that you get, and you also get their MLG Pro controller, Bluetooth one.
And unlike Ouya, you get the entire Android library.
It's not a proprietary Android thing. It is just the Android Jelly Bean or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. So that if you have Android, you can all the things you already bought can work on it. It's just super.
and
Super
it
cool.
sounded amazing. I'm like, this sounds so much better than the Ouya.
It sounded better than everything. It was okay, it was made by a company that has more money. It has the Pro controller that
It's a good
very
looking controller. Yeah.
and then it has the open Android. No restrictions, no specialized marketplace.
So we're like, $100. There's a clear winner there. And then they.
It's $100?
And then
No, this
this
week
is
they
what we thought.
announced-
And then this week they announced that it is $250.
Yes.
And I went, well, that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
that was
it's a slightly better than Ouya for $250, and I'm like,
That's
I think
you just screwed yourself.
Yeah.
Madcatz.
Well,
You're so close.
I think the one thing about the Ouya that disappointed me was that when I heard there was going to be a new console, that was HDMI support, Android support, indie game heavy supporting, even getting people like Square Enix on board to port their titles over. I was kind of hoping you would see a streamline of new games to go along with it, and not just indie games, but imagine if suddenly Nintendo's hey, or not Nintendo, but Sony.
Nintendo would never.
I know, but Sony's like, hey, you know what? Here's a new God of War on the Ouya. I mean, again, it's a dumb example, but to
probably
push.
first party people wouldn't.
Well,
yeah,
of course, but I'm using that
EA,
as
Madden.
Sega.
There we go. Madden.
the new Sonic game on the Ouya
Mhm.
exclusively for the first year and a half or whatever it is.
Right.
I was under the impression that we were going to have a lot of third and first party, second party support to create titles that would be not only on the new generation but on the Ouya as well, and that's kind of the appeal to it. Is that it's $100 for a new console,
Yeah.
and
And it doesn't do as many things as the big boy consoles, but it's
Yeah.
it's a nice little alternative thing where you could play, certain games that you
I mean
might
it's a nice emulator.
I mean that's true.
That is true.
If you want to capture gameplay footage, it's perfect for guys like us, where if we want to stream something or capture something, and you can download an emulation of a game, and it does HDMI, and it looks pretty solid.
Well, when they announced it, and I assumed it was going to be $100, we were talking about we like to have every console, just
Yeah.
every console.
Yeah.
We overlap. We all have several of a couple, but generally one setup everywhere. And there's not a whole lot of Android killer apps, at least as far as
Yeah.
I know, because I don't do a lot of mobile. But I'm
Right.
for $100, that's worth getting that. And then when something good comes along,
You can just
to
look
play. I think
through, or you can
Towerfall
just
is
look through
is
the
that one
store
game
and
that's doing well?
pick,
yeah.
Towerfall's amazing, yeah.
And and it's Madcatz, so I'm it's a little more trustworthy. Don't ask me that years ago when I was buying their controllers. They've come a long way.
Yeah.
But I'm
We got
okay, this
their-
is great.
we
It's
got their
it's
sticks,
a brand name that I'm comfortable putting out some money with, and then $250. I'm I'll just get the Shield from Nvidia.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the same price, and it does more.
Yeah. So
Well, I guess the real question I want to ask you guys is there room for a new console that's not made by a company that we.
Are you asking us the question?
I am asking you guys a
Alright.
question.
No!
I want to know. I want to know.
Take away your mic.
No.
Wait, really quickly though, we'll answer this question. We finally got like a cool mug for
our
It's
guests.
pretty
for our
rad.
guests.
I'm excited to break it in.
And we'll get a coaster soon. So
You know
it doesn't
would-
kill Davis's soul
You know
a
what?
little bit.
You know what would make this that much more epic if it actually was a Rubik's cube.
Do you know that? Just shut up. just shut up, Gerard.
Just let us have this one.
Okay.
No, you can't really boop 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 boop
We
in
can't-
the warp pipe.
But what if you could?
And this doesn't give me energy. Oh wait, it does give me energy.
Okay, that lives.
that works.
All right, shit, that works. Okay. We'll
Anyway,
settle-
okay, please
so
go back
is
to your question.
so is there room for a third part or a new console? Like, I'm not excited for the Steam box. I'm not gonna pick up this Mad Catz thing. I'm not gonna pick up an Ouya. Like, these are not that I don't want to. I mean, I have some interest, but there's not really a proprietary need for these. You know, like if Mad Catz had a mascot or had, you know, a particular kind of
like a mad.
A mad cat.
like a Mad Cat. If the
Bring back Bubsy.
Blinks?
Yeah,
Ooh, Blinks. That's a good one too.
But yeah,
I was an OG Xbox fan. We had to, whatever we had. We had to support.
You were just really proud of
This
that.
is so as good as everything that Sony has.
What was the other one? Fusion
Frenzy?
Frenzy. Yeah.
Party game to rival the
Mario
Wii.
Party. Yeah, it's so much better than Mario Party. Anyway, so
game
you're saying is there room for another console?
yeah.
No. I want
Yeah.
fewer consoles. I want one console. That's just how, I mean, and this is the PC Master Race in me. Like, just have, because you can essentially just upgrade that, but have one that interfaces with everything. And that's what the Steam Box is sort of doing that, I feel like, where it's trying to, like, bridge PC and console, like, you know, the computer and the living room.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I want, and then also with more that Steam's doing with a lot of their streaming stuff, we're sort of getting to that point where like you will have one thing and then you'll just be able to stream it to all your devices, and that's what I want. And I think when we get super awesome internet in the future, that'll be a thing where you just like leave your console, your computer, your whatever at home, and then just your phone you'll be able to stream certain things to, your tablets, your TV, it'll all just work, and it'll be fucking amazing. You'll have a super hot model wife, and things will just be aces for me.
That went off the rails a little bit there, but not to you.
And there's going to be a fully 3D motion control Pokemon game that has Oculus Rift support. And I'm out. Later, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a great fantasy world that I want to
it's
be a part
amazing.
of. I want to be a part of that world.
I have
just need to
solved
take enough NyQuil.
the small boob problem. No more small boobs. You're welcome.
You heard it first, America.
Yeah, you solved it. But realistically, that would make you so rich.
I really like. I would like to, and not just like money wise, although that's definitely a huge thing. Just make it all. Just get it all together in one roof, and then you get all your great games on one console. Oh, it would be so magical.
You know, I think competition's healthy. It encourages creativity amongst these big companies. I think
true.
that, you know, if Mario wasn't doing so well, I'm sure, you know, it wouldn't have inspired Sega to really start up the whole console war situation, because you know, and I think, you know, mascots have now become mascots are almost irrelevant except for Mario and Sonic.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Sonic's
not even that relevant.
Yeah, Sonic's associated to Nintendo now. So, I mean, like Master Chief.
Whatever, he's getting a TV show. So
Yeah, TV show, and
It's-
he's in Smash Bros. Like,
But
he's in a good spot.
Like mascots are more like corporate figureheads at this point.
yeah,
Like,
it's true.
You were gonna say Master Chief is like
Yeah, Master Chief,
Microsoft's face.
you know, Kratos, and all
Like,
the other.
well, they have
Actually,
like a bunch of.
PlayStation's a good example of they have a varied amount of first party content.
Which is why I'm very surprised that All Stars did so poorly, because I loved All Stars. I wanted it to do really well, and it had a lot of potential. It got great reviews. I think people hated it because it wasn't Smash Bros. And maybe it was just because it was a game that came
also,
out a year.
Sackboy was fucking broken. So like,
Sackboy is
let's
fucking
also point
broken.
out that people might have hated it because there was some balance.
I mean-
but there's also terrible balancing issues in Smash.
Meta
Bros.
Knight.
Yeah, Meta
I mean,
Knight,
there's like you look at the top tier people and the character list.
yeah, it shrinks down.
Top
a little bit.
eight of Street Fighter, not this year, but was 7, but like
7
8
of
different
8,
characters
yeah,
last
that's still
year.
really good.
Smash Bros. I don't know. Well, the Brawl wasn't at
Yeah.
Evo, but
even
it would
me-
not
even
have
me,
been that
it
many
was
different
just- yeah.
characters. Yeah.
I mean, just to kind of add to why All Stars did poorly, people say they cite it as not having Crash Bandicoot or Spyro in the game. I honestly don't think that having those characters
would save that. Absolutely not.
No, because
but I love Crash Bandicoot. It would. Well, I already loved it anyway.
Well, I
wanted.
you know,
Crash Bandicoot.
everyone wanted.
I had a friend who worked at Superbot.
Yeah.
And I can't say who he is or what there was, but they did have Crash Bandicoot planned as DLC. And you know why we don't have it? Because Superbot went under and
Nobody
All
bought the
Star,
game,
no one
so-
bought the game. And that begs the question again. Would people have bought the game if Crash Bandicoot and Spyro were in it? I honestly don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think
it
so
has. They don't
I
have
think
the brand
I
for it
think
this
that
year.
if they had, you know, I was surprised that Sony had such great third-party support. If they had gotten people like Cloud and Sephiroth or Squall or you know,
yeah, if you'd gotten
if you'd gotten some
big
heavy
boys,
hitters
yeah.
from third-party companies, you'd have like even like having Ezio or you know like just these big icons from both old and new games. And they kind of had that,
Yeah.
but not enough of variety.
They had a couple. Yeah.
They had a couple, yeah.
yeah,
But again, does that prove the success of the game? I don't know. I thought the battle system was fantastic. It was perfect. I loved that there was no life bar percentages. It was just based on pulling off the one skill. And
Yeah.
even though some people's were broken.
Yep.
But
no, it was definitely an interesting concept. And
yeah.
it's a
Sorry,
shame
I know that
that's
we
the
got
end.
sidetracked.
No,
I
it's cool.
Oh
apologize,
yeah,
but
let's okay.
But we
so
never really answered. Yeah, I guess we got a good answer from you. Yeah.
For about
One
consoles.
one console.
Sure, what do you feel?
From the console side, from the console sub race, I guess you'd call it, that you want to get rid of.
No, there's always room for handhelds.
Yeah. I think that competition would be healthy, and I don't think that I think that the Ouya would have been like the 2DS. It's this low cost option for like. There's definitely a market for it, like for cheaper consoles where they're able to, like, you know, oh, this is only $100 and you can play all the games that you play on your iPad. Like here, little Timmy, play this. And it's a babysitter for a while, but like, no, I think there's definitely a market for things, but there's not as big of a market as maybe they were thinking. Like, I don't know exactly what the projections were, but I know that people thought Ouya was going to go a lot bigger than it was, but I'm like, it's realistically,
It's a niche product.
it's a very niche product. It plays indie games and it plays indie Android games. Like, you're not gonna get, I don't know, you're not gonna get middle America to come barging down your doors unless you have Madden on it or something like that. You know?
Yeah, but I can picture the pitch meeting in my head where the guy's like, look, Android, super popular. Everyone's got an Android.
Yeah.
Games. Everyone loves games. Boom. And then you're like, okay, but it's also like you have to plug it into your TV. You're like, mobile is doing so well because
it's mobile.
Fucking mobile.
Yes. Very good point.
But to kind of follow up with that though, if that's the case, why did so many people back the Kickstarter?
So many people backed it, but it's still a vocal minority. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. They were only asking for $1 million, and they got what, like, how much? I think like 8 or 9. Like, that's a significant number.
yeah. I mean, but it's
But
like
it's
the people
still to the
that were
vote.
like into it supported it.
yeah.
And then I don't know outside of those people who are willing to like fund it, and I'm sure there's a lot of companies who are supporting it too.
Mhm.
That people were just like, cool, but not interested. So
I mean, it's just interesting to see how a company that wanted 1 million, they got 8 or 9, and
then they still
and
screwed
then
the
they
pooch there.
they still messed it up. They did a lot of branding and marketing. We were at E3. And
Yeah,
we went to that
we went
Ouya
to that
booth,
party. Yeah,
and
that
it
was
was
fun.
like
dollar beers.
dollar beers and weird Thai food, and it was a good time. But it also just felt like, and that was the thing. You couldn't buy the console. You couldn't play the console.
Yeah, they didn't even.
They
No,
just-
they had like 2 booths up there.
had-
Yeah, but like,
But think about how many people were there. Like,
yeah.
you're not gonna wait in line for an Ouya.
yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean, I actually was the one guy who was like, I'd like to buy one, and they were like, we don't have any, and I'm like,
Look, I see him.
This-
I see him right there.
you like have that? I can see
Well,
it.
that's true. I mean, they don't have. You can't buy PS4s yet. They had them there at E3.
Right, but
true,
like,
but
when
this
you
had
go-
already released.
Like,
Like,
when you go to PAX, or if you go to like E3, if you wanted to, you can buy a Wii U at some of the vendor booths they have there. You can buy a Vita or all these things. It's like going to In-N-Out and saying like, oh yeah, we don't have any hamburgers for you. It's like, you sell hamburgers. Why can't I
Yeah.
have one?
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
just me being crazy. But
I don't know.
Could be. All right. There's a lot of news we gotta get through. Man, we talk about a lot. All right, quickly.
It's fun. It's a good one.
it's my fault. I'm a talker.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got a full season.
Yeah!
Which is good.
Now they
Have
can
you watched it yet?
No.
Okay.
Look,
well,
here's
we're
the,
just gonna talk about a few things
it's
here.
I'm gonna.
It's not.
It's
not
not
great.
as it's not come out. It's like I give the series so far like a 7.5 out of 10. It has a lot of promise.
Yeah.
There are just some things that it needs to fix, like the main Sky. Who's like her character. They haven't really found. I don't think they've really found her.
She's the, and I think the best way they put it, she's like the Gwen Cooper of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Who's Gwen Cooper?
Torchwood.
Oh.
But
Torchwood.
Well,
I actually watched
S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is basically the American version of Torchwood.
Yeah,
like
it is.
Where they go around, they have a freak of the week, except it's far less depressing than Torchwood. But they have,
Yeah, but she was good. Wait, you didn't like Gwen Cooper?
No. I'm saying that's from a narrative standpoint.
Oh,
she
she's
is
like
the outsider that's coming
brought
in.
the
No,
role.
not that.
Except
oh,
for
good
that
God, she is
she
not.
had like the skill set of sort of like police training and investigation.
That's a good point.
Whereas Sky
has hacker.
I dropped out of high school and became like a super hacker, which is cool, but I don't know. She's just like overly quirky, I think.
She has to have her one-liner at the end of every thing.
Well, and so far all these episodes have been like, she's the unlikely person. Why is she here? And like Coulson, who's amazing, I love him. Is always like.
I mean, Coulson's the reason to watch the show right now.
And the other cast is pretty cool too. They just haven't.
They haven't because they've just been doing everything with Sky.
Yeah, but so it's like she can't do this. She's not prepared, and then we'll look out at the end of the episode. She does one thing that saves it, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, you're part of the team. But it's like, there has to be more than that to the character. But
well, I think that with any new show, you have to kind of set the perimeters and boundaries of what the show is in the first few episodes to season, and then you look at look at Breaking Bad, look at Chuck. Like the first seasons of these shows were like, in theory, the show was great, and it was great, but when you get to the later seasons, you really start to see, the real potential of these characters and the plots they set up.
I think Star Treks are the greatest examples of
terrible first seasons.
Like they all start out
just
a little rough, and then they find their footing and become amazing. So, and and that's what I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt for this one, because like the first one, I actually really liked the pilot.
I really think that
the post-credit scene of the second one was awesome.
Yes.
And then the
they
third
definitely
episode,
they definitely have like the good like dialogue that they need, and like they have a lot of potential there, and it's just I think maybe it's because it's Joss Whedon that we're expecting.
But I mean,
Firefly.
I think he's probably not. His name's on it, but I don't think he's day to day there a lot because he's got Phase 2 and Avengers 2 and everything else.
Now,
true,
with my concern, I mean, again, I'm not much of a comic book guy as much as I am a video game dude, but I do love the movies. I'm with you guys at every midnight release when they come out.
Yeah.
Now, my fear of it is that I don't know much about the Marvel Universe or DC Universe, but aren't they going to get to a point possibly in the S.H.I.E.L.D. series where they've kind of explored a lot of, because I'm assuming a lot of these like villains and monsters they encounter are characters from comic books. Is that a true?
There has been one.
Only this most recent episode did that.
Yeah, this most recent episode they introduced an actual like supervillain, but other than that, it's not even Freak of the Week. It's like, well, the first episode was like kind of Freak of the Week. The second one was just like
an artifact.
It was like an artifact of the week, and then so I think they're gonna vary it, and they'll have I think some more.
But also, I don't think they're gonna run out because the Marvel universe is huge.
Yeah.
It's
and what I'm really looking forward to, and I talked about with the trailer for, is I'm looking forward to how the movies affect the TV show. Where like when
that was
Thor 2 comes out, when this comes out, I would love to see that have like an effect on the show.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, that to me is exciting.
That's actually what I was going to ask about, because my concern, one thing that drives me nuts is when a show doesn't match up with a film association kind of thing.
I really think this is literally Marvel's
and I love it.
Yeah, this is definitely Marvel's show. They've done the shared universe now with movies. They're not gonna screw up with the shared universe on the TV show.
I really hope.
Except for having Sky.
I mean, they've already had 2 notable cameos, which I'm not gonna mention who they are, because I don't want to. I mean, but it's watch it. Yeah. So yeah, it's good. It got a first season. And then also, Arrow came back.
We all knew it was going to get a first season.
Yeah, but
and it's doing
nice
well.
to know.
I mean, there was a little drop off from first week to second week, but I mean,
that's what happened.
Got such insane numbers. Yeah. All right. So there's a lot of Harrison Ford news.
Harrison
this
Ford
week.
went out there today.
Yeah. So apparently Harrison Ford is in talks right now to return for Blade Runner 2. He is very positive on the idea of doing another Indiana Jones movie, and then he says he's not decided whether or not he's going to do Star Wars.
So yeah,
Wow.
a trifecta of bombshells. Let's start with Blade Runner.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm wondering how he's going to be back for Blade Runner 2 if he's a replicant, but
has that been? It's a theory. Is it confirmed? Is it is it a fact?
it's pretty much confirmed.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess you can sequel it out. So
Yeah. Maybe
Huh.
he's based on something. I don't know. I've only
Or it
seen
could
Blade
just be-
Runner once, and it's a great movie.
Or it could just be set, like a year later, and he's like rapidly aged or something. I don't know.
It's sci-fi, and it's Ridley Scott sci-fi, so you
So,
can
you do whatever
can
the
write
fuck you
or
want.
not write it
Yeah.
any way you want to. Just be like, or just don't even say it. Just pretend like it's the next day,
Yeah.
and don't address the fact that like Edward James Olmos and him and the
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
batshit lady
Yeah.
from the hell is it? Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Who's the like?
Uh-huh.
They're all just like
Really old
20
now.
or 30 years older.
Whatever. It's acid rain or whatever.
It's like Red Hot or Wet Hot American Summer. They're just like way older than the
Than
characters
they
are
should
playing.
be,
Just
yeah.
don't even address it.
That's why I didn't like any. That's one of the reasons why I didn't really like the fourth Indy film. Was because it was like Indy just seemed too old to be on camera, and so did what's her name, Miriam. It
She
just was
not-
like
She had aged the least
she
well.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
not.
And,
as
and
well.
I'm not even like there was like the latest Rambo and the latest Rocky where he's like old, and I don't mind doing them
Well, that's
when they're
like
older.
Stallone I'm okay with because I feel like Stallone's always been.
Stallone's
like-
been more of an everyman. type,
Yeah.
Even though he's like a super soldier in freaking Rocky, but he's like, he's not the super muscle bound guy. He's more of the
Stallone?
he's not like Schwarzenegger.
No, he's played it. He has like both. He has like real.
That's what I mean.
Characters.
He has the super, but he also has Rocky. He's like he has realistic characters too. So he's been able to survive the trends of the action star. And he's been able to adapt.
And at least in,
Judge Dredd.
and in his case
He looks really
too,
good in the when he played Carl Urban playing Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Stallone playing Carl Urban playing Dredd.
Mama's not the law. I saw it with you, didn't I?
Yeah.
So good. I bought the 3D Blu-ray.
Oh
so.
man, that was the one movie
Yeah.
I regret not seeing in 3D.
I have it, and once I finally shell out the money to get a 3D, if we move, I'm gonna get a 3D TV so
Yeah.
I can watch all my 3D Blu-rays.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to watch it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
I heard they're trying to make a sequel to Dredd.
I really hope they do. It deserves
it was so
one.
good.
It so
It was
deserves one.
so great.
Go watch
well,
it.
Carl
it
Urban
had
was amazing.
huge legs on Blu-ray. Like apparently,
Yeah.
like it like way blew past people's expectations, which is good. And
Well, there's a lot of there's a huge Reddit support post for it that everyone swarmed to. Like no one saw it in theaters, but like immediately after it was released,
it was amazing.
everyone who saw it was
Yeah.
like, "You all need to go see Dredd." It was
Yes.
fantastic, and I agree. It was.
It was like great on so many levels. It was like clearly it had a budget because they kept it like sort of centralized to
Yeah.
one location.
Mhm.
But they still made it awesome with the effects and the acting and everything else there. It's how you like introduce a character without doing an origin story.
Yep.
They did a voiceover. It was awesome. You just understood
And we're
very
good, and
quickly.
we're good to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
there
and it-
wasn't a lot of like, go here, do this, do that, go this. It's like this is the one building the movie takes place in.
This is what's gonna happen in this movie,
That's why.
and here we go.
And that's why, in my opinion, Die Hard 1 is fantastic because it takes place in the Nakatomi Tower the entire time. We're with Bruce Willis and the
Yeah.
entire going through the rafters. Like that is fantastic. Whereas when you start like having him run over New York City and then you get a little.
Then it gets all
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, but like that was
yippee-ki-yay.
one of the best things about Dredd is that it took place in one location and
Yeah.
so many cool things happened in that one
No,
location.
and like I don't know the gun. His like gun is
Hot
it like
shot.
all the yeah.
He had some great.
The
yeah.
universe is so great. It's like very dark, but I want to see more of it.
Oh, more.
Yeah.
And I guess I could go read the comics, but I don't know. I want to buy that. They have like the omnibus, but it's like some of the old comics are like really. I was like flipping through. I'm like, this is old comic book. Like it's rough to get through.
Well, because in Dredd's universe, they haven't ever rebooted the character, and he ages in real time. So modern Dredd is like, I think he's in his 70s at this point.
Seriously,
Wow.
or he's just like pumped full of drugs? To,
Yes.
like,
And
Wow.
he is just, so he's been the same character throughout, and they've never like rebooted him or killed him off or
That's actually kind of cool.
or like kept him young like the rest of the comics do.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It is hard looking back at early comics because They're hard reads sometimes.
That Judge Dredd video game for the Super Nintendo is like one of the weirdest creations of all time.
I smell a Let's Play coming up. Wow, I love how we start somewhere and just end up different.
And we ended on Judge Dredd.
It's mostly my fault. I'm sorry.
Okay, so all right, blah blah. Harrison Ford. Basically, the one that I really want him to do.
The one that he wants to do.
The one that everyone wants him to do, which is Han Solo coming back as he's on the fence about. Okay,
no one really wants another indie. I guess maybe as
I don't want. No, I don't want. Maybe
as
like
an apology.
Yeah.
He could come out and say, "We're sorry for the last one. We're just gonna do this one."
Sorry, we're sorry.
And then that could be the whole movie. Pay $10 for that.
I mean, Harrison Ford, he's a nice guy, and I love who he was when he was younger, but I feel like over the course of the past 15 years, he's kind of aged as like a grumpy old man actor.
In his interviews, and it could be because he's on like Conan.
No,
he
it's on Conan. He plays that character.
That's his bit.
And he's always
and I get that.
drunk, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, he's always like, "So why'd you do indie?" And he's like, and you're like, "Okay." And he's like, "Would you do another one?" And he's like, like, "Okay, yeah, I get it, but."
Like
and on Jimmy Kimmel, his gag is that he always fights with Chewbacca.
That was
because he slept with his wife.
Yeah. You son of a bitch.
You know what you did. You get out of here. And it's like he's so intense with it. But
I mean, that's a great way to enjoy who you are as a personality.
He's like, I'm Harrison Ford, bitch. I'm gonna interview however I want.
I'm excited to see Ender's Game because of him. Yeah. And I loved Ender's Game, the book. I'm not so excited about the movie because I don't know how they're going to do a lot of it. But the excitement that I do have for it is Harrison Ford.
That's the Venn diagram, Harrison Ford.
And then Sir Ben Kingsley.
Has anyone else noticed that the posters for on the way I was driving here?
Mass Effect! Yes! Mass Effect!
This in the car driving.
Yay! It's such a mess. Sorry for the explosion of the audio.
We just ruined everyone's earphones.
It is Mass Effect!
We were driving and I was like, oh, hey, look, wait. Then I looked over to Davis. He was driving. He was like,
the font, the colorization, the lens flare,
where they put him,
where they put him. It's literally like Mass Effect. It's like Mass Effect 1 and 3 poster.
Yeah.
Like this is Ender's Game. Like I get it. I get.
I'm really glad we weren't the only ones. That
it definitely is, and I think they're trying to go for that target demographic of, hey kids, do you like video games? Do you love Mass Effect?
Yeah.
You sure do. Look at this poster.
You like space?
Yeah, it's like
I hear it's the final frontier.
We're going gangbusters over in space.
I was driving on the way up, and I had to say something about that. I was like, why?
You probably passed
the same. It's the same billboard. Yeah, it's absolutely the same billboard that we were talking about it.
There was two, and I was like, what, Mass Effect the movie? Which I'm sure like is probably going to be a thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't. That's a topic for another time.
Day.
All right, well, I'm going to cut through all the other shitty stories and just get to the two important ones. All right, first, do you hear Samuel L. Jackson did voice a pack for Han? You can, for however much money, I didn't see how much it was, but he recorded, you can have him as your announcer in Heroes of New Earth. They got Sam Jackson. And it's hilarious.
It's
the problem is
double kill, motherfucker. Like
there's a lot of fun.
It's like I'm too motherfucking good. Take that motherfucking tower. Like
it's awesome and sassy, but it's for Han, and I don't play Han, so damn it.
Modders, just rip that.
League will get there. League one day.
League doesn't even have any announcers though.
Yeah, well they've. I mean, character-wise, I'm sure someone will come out.
I want to see Dota 2 have a.
Speaking of which, I'm gold 5 in League. I'm very close to platinum. I'm getting there.
I'm rogue leader.
I'm trying to get there before the end of October, because then the.
Is that when it shuts down?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you get?
I want to get there. You get Victorious Elise skin if you get to gold. So I do have it, but I'm really hoping to get the platinum banner around my, because that banner lasts throughout the rest of your season. So when you do season 4, you have that cool platinum banner.
That's sweet. That's cool. That's awesome. All right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Enough of Han. Shut up, Han. You're drunk.
Go home, Han. You're drunk.
And then finally, Rockstar as an apology for the horrific GTA Online launch, they're giving anyone that I guess played or will play in October $500,000 in-game dollars as penance.
We're sorry.
Yeah.
$500,000.
On the flip side, also, if your character got deleted, that they can't restore your character. So if your character got deleted, that's the end.
Why did your character get deleted?
Oh, that was a new glitch that happened after the first patch, and it was funny because whoever's reviewing it for IGN got his character deleted, and he just like in his because they couldn't do a full review, but in his like preview review that they do to get more money,
they do like they do like ongoing reviews.
Yeah, but he was just like, so angry. He's like, this isn't even a beta test. This is a fucking alpha. Like he was so angry, and yeah, he has to start his review over
Shots
because
fired.
Glitches with old man snitches.
That is a glitch that no one should have to endure. That happened to me in Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. I completed the entire game. Completed the entire game. I missed 3 holocrons.
Oh no!
One of them glitched out. I had to start over. Had to start over because it was glitched. And LucasArts refused to patch the game.
Oh.
They refused to patch it because it cost too much money.
They're like,
and then
do you know how hard it
7
is to
months
patch?
later,
We gotta do work.
7 months later, they patched it and it deleted my character.
Oh.
That happens to me a lot more than I want to admit. Just it glitches.
This is the
and I
problem.
cry.
You are so much more put together of a person than a person that has gone through what you've had to go through should be. You've held on tremendously well.
I'm like everyone's.
For a 12-year-old, you look great.
I'm like high school Gerard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, I'll be hobo Gerard again one day. My dad, to prove a point, I don't know if I told you guys this story, but...
I love your dad.
Oh, yeah,
My
dad
dad-
stories.
So my dad...
You gotta use the voice, too.
my dad took me to dinner one day at Fish and Bones, that place that you and I went to next to my house.
That we go like every time I go there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
So
so
we
good.
went there, and after dinner, my dad wanted to go for a walk, and he looks at me and goes, Jirard, you look like a fucking hobo. You need to shave. I'm like, Dad, I don't look like a hobo. I'm not going to shave. Leave me alone.
Part of your branding.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm the Beardman, Dad. I can't not be the Beardman. It doesn't make sense. And
The
he goes,
shaved man? That sounds
He'd have to take
Yeah.
away an AKA.
And I'm not doing that. I'm
No,
keeping all of the AKAs.
You spent a lot of time building up your AKAs.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I did it because of Total Biscuit. Because I thought if TB could do it, I could do it, and I totally.
And you
have.
outdid him.
I did.
Well, he's got.
Well, he makes. Anyways, so my dad's like, you look like a fucking hobo. I want you to shave, and I'm like, I'm not gonna shave, Dad. And he goes, watch, you're a hobo. Go do this. So my dad goes into Fish and Bones, spends $3 to get me a drink, but not to drink, to just have a cup, like a white plastic cup. And he sits me down in front of the AMC theaters that it's next to, and he's like, sit there. And I'm like, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, Dad, I'm not a hobo. And he's like, you're a hobo, watch.
Oh, shit.
I'm sitting there, I sit there for like 30 seconds, and I'm like, Dad, just leave me alone. No one's going to give me, and then suddenly a woman walks by, puts $20 in my cup. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's fair. You win, Dad.
I just want to say,
I'm going to go home and shave.
silver lining, you got $20. So,
That is true.
This is a viable second job for you.
But my dad got me. I look like a hobo. So
I love your dad, but I'm so glad he's not my dad.
if I could, I'd love to do like an HBO series on my dad, just like the true upbringing of Charles Khalil, and it's just like it's basically a modern day Leonidas prequel of of my dad in the Middle East, just like getting in gang fights and shit like that because he
That would be
would,
amazing.
and then like it just like cuts to him like being this old man who's like, I used to kill people with bottles, like that's like who he is. One day, Dad.
Mm-hmm. All right.
On that
on
note-
that note,
on
we'll
that
take a
note,
little
we're gonna-
break, and then we'll come back and answer some questions, all right?
Dope.
Yeah.
Break time!
Don't kill us with bottles. Synced.
Everybody
Alrighty.
good? Smiles? And we're back!
Hey!
Yeah.
Yeah!
I hope you guys missed us.
Down.
We need
Yeah.
that.
When you had that one commercial.
That one.
They're like, oh my
commercial.
God, they're gone for 15 to 30 seconds. What's gonna happen?
The world is... Do
So
they
much, so much has changed, guys.
Do they ever do like the big ones in the
skip? No.
Oh, okay.
It's just like
Pretty sure they don't.
Sometimes I've actually been notified about a couple shows and stuff. I've actually like sat around and been like, ooh, I'm glad I watched that. It was interesting.
Yeah.
When I asked me which ones, I forgot because I've got bad memory and I drink a lot.
That was me in Chronicle. I didn't want to see Chronicle, and then I saw
Until
until
you
I
saw
saw
enough pre-rolls, yeah.
I saw a YouTube ad that was like 7 minutes long, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
actually pretty cool.
I'm down like a mofo. to
I'm
see
down.
this. Should we answer questions?
Let's answer
Sure.
some questions.
All right.
Answer him.
The first one from Eric Ramsey. use of the Force or use of the TARDIS? Go.
The Force.
Really?
Yeah.
Why the Force?
Because as much as it is, like, I'm kind of a big believer in leaving the time continuum alone in terms of like I mean vacationing every now and then I get, but like if I show up to, you know, a time period or world that's like I'm not familiar with and I ruin something, that's like the butterfly effect. I don't want to be a part of that. I'd rather just have the instant gratification of force pushing, force pulling, being really great with the lightsaber, convincing people that like
it's not a lightsaber.
Well, I know, but
Well,
proficiency is not as
let's say you're Force adept, so you can wield it though.
yeah,
So,
just like
Well, helps
like
you with like
getting
yeah,
out
it
of
helps
certain
with being able to use
situations.
it. Yeah.
No, but basically it would give you like a sort of a spider sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, yeah, no, I agree with that too. About you don't want to like fiddle with the space time continuum. Also, as a diabetic, I can't. If I got stuck in the past, I'd be kind of screwed.
Yeah.
That being said, I go to the future when
They just
there
go
might
ahead
be a cure.
Yeah.
And nip that in the bud. But are we actually gonna survive that long? I don't know. I'm not
Well,
taking that bet.
Remember, it is a TARDIS. You can go to any planet, anywhere. So,
That's true.
at any time point.
But if we really are the only race because God made us, then I'm gonna wish I had not done that. I'm gonna look. I look
right.
like Jesus. Why not have some powers? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. There you go.
Plus, if I am on the light side, that's healing. I can heal myself. And to
Then
be
you
honest,
can then you can cure your own diabetes. Be like,
yeah, like what? Think of a happy thought. And I can fly too. No, I don't know. The TARDIS.
really?
It's awesome, but it's too wibbly wobbly. Like it's too much
too much
responsibility.
power.
I am not. I am an adult. In like technical term only. I'm like a child. You can't trust me with a laundry machine.
Yep.
So a TARDIS, you really want my colors run. Is all
Okay.
I'm saying. Imagine the time.
The
If I
time
throw the
space
time
continuum.
whites with the time colors, it's just bad.
Well, okay, I'm gonna pick the TARDIS because
I trust you.
You trust me with that? I wouldn't.
I'll be your
I wouldn't-
companion, but don't give me give me a button.
I won't-
Don't give me
yes.
anything important.
This is the problem.
Ooh,
It's
shiny.
Rose. Well, it's Rose Tyler. It's Rose Tyler was the reason the Daleks came back. Like Rose
Yeah.
screwing up was the reason for most of those misadventures.
Well, we all know Donna's the best.
Donna is great.
Oh,
So you know.
So
You
good.
guys like
Well,
Donna? I wasn't a fan of Donna.
Donna.
I like Donna.
I also like Martha. Too,
I
but
think
Donna
Donna
is
had better stories, and I think was a funnier character. Martha is clearly the most
she's the most
competent.
capable.
She's
of
definitely
all
the
of
most
them.
competent.
Ma- She like roll with the punches, and I think
Yeah.
that even carries over into Torchwood, which that's why I really
Yeah.
like her a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
because she's like, fuck it, all right, I can't be in the TARDIS
Yeah,
anymore.
but-
I'm gonna go
but-
join UNIT.
Rose from day one is just like emo.
Just stop doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
It's that just like
Uh,
okay, keep doing what you're doing. You know you can't do this, but
But I'm saying-
but do it.
Okay, yes.
Oh, repercussions. A bunch of other people die. Okay.
It would just be great to go. Yeah,
Whoopsies.
yeah. It would just be great to go anywhere, anytime,
Yeah.
see anything and everything, and yeah, and just bring stuff back or bring stuff with you from different time periods. I think it's a very lofty dream, and yes, it would lack the instant gratification of force powers because that is like something you've always wanted since a child.
But-
like walking in front of
Well,
doors.
I could have stopped myself from selling my like anniversary NES Game Boy Advance SP.
You could. No, you couldn't because you.
But I
couldn't.
had to because I had to buy my own stuff and I had to sell all my old games
Well,
to buy
you
the
couldn't.
new
You
ones.
couldn't cross your own timeline, but you could have dropped money in front of yourself while you were. No, because you have to do it secretly, so you could drop money in front of yourself while you were walking.
I have
to
to
GameStop.
black cat myself.
I
Yes.
admit if I had a TARDIS, I probably would go back and
If I had a TARDIS,
buy myself
I would buy
older
you that
games.
Xbox 360 that your father denied you for years.
Yes.
I would have fixed you. Or
Oh,
father
no.
issues.
You opened up all the wounds.
if there's time, I'll tell the Xbox
it's just
story.
like I go back in time with the Xbox. We'll save that
we
for
might save that for another time. You know?
Yeah.
because you're gonna be here. Guess what? You're gonna be recurring.
Yeah.
You're
If you want me to come back, I'll come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, we'll save
No,
that
you're
for
terrible.
another time. But I'm gonna like just drop it, and all of a sudden like a white light will flash, history will change, and it's like President Gerard, the United States of Earth.
Yes.
Like we're already in like deeper in space. Just everything is so much better because you had
Because you got your
Xbox.
Xbox.
Thank you. If that makes me president and I fix everything,
Small boobs
I'm
are
down.
fixed as well.
For
Yeah.
you especially.
Davis
Look,
can
look.
finally have those boobs that he wanted.
No,
Like, I'm never leaving the house. What are they?
All right, next question.
Want to play video games? Nah, I'm good.
then with the white light, and all history changes. And
Damn it! Change it back. Jake Buchanan asks, best Pokemon.
Best Pokemon. Whew.
I'm gonna answer it favorite Pokemon because I don't.
Yeah, favorite's
don't
much
know
easier
all
than
the,
best.
All the like meta
Because then you start, especially with X and Y on the brink. It's just like how many. It changes. It changes.
Multiple
Yeah.
types. Yeah.
How many Pokemon?
So-
Like 750 Pokemon now. I don't know.
It's sort of tied, but Charmander was my first starter, and Charizard and I'm so excited about his Mega Evolution.
Charizard.
I'm so excited for. Oh God, Pokemon. Anyways, but the one guy that I don't know why, maybe he was like a young hipster, Magneton. I don't know why he's my favorite, but it was when he first got Steel type that he became so awesome, and whenever I can, I use him. I love him so much. Buck Magnezone. I'm not evolving him. That's dumb. Even though he gets a great move. It's like I don't know why. It's 3 Magnemites put together. It doesn't make any sense, but I love him. He's like a regular. He's the crux of my team. I'm gonna fucking
Yeah. Cool.
My favorite Pokemon.
Okay. Man.
Do you know yours?
I really like. Okay, I got mine. And I think it's Zapdos.
Zapdos.
I really love Zapdos.
Zapdos.
Yes.
Zapdos.
It was Zapdos, right?
When I was a kid, I
You
called
got him
it.
in that like electrical building.
Yeah, in the cave. Yeah. And I really liked him. He was the one I top fly to, even though that was, in theory, a stupid move. But I was a young kid.
Later, you learned don't give the HMs to like
To
a
your
Pokemon that
your
you
good
want.
Pokemon. 'Cause-
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always thought it was cool to fly around on a legendary bird.
And when oh God, as a kid, the legendaries were so much. As I've gotten older, and I now have like a mind that's like a little more capable. I'm like catching these things isn't hard. That's why now I try to catch them in like Pokeballs, to really make it a challenge. Back then it was like, how am I ever gonna? I can only find him once. How am I ever gonna do this?
Him.
Oh,
Waste everything
That is
except
true.
the Master Ball.
Getting
yeah. You're
legendaries.
like, when are you gonna use the Master
Getting
Ball?
legendaries back as a child, I think, was definitely a big moment. So
They were like if we had a water cooler, like a water fountain, like they were like the big moments.
They
where
were
you're
playground
like,
conversations.
dude. And if you didn't get them, then
then
what
you're
do
like
you do, start over.
Yeah,
Like,
you're done. That's it.
Yeah.
You'll never get that one. You gotta ask for a trade back to just at least get it on your Pokedex. But
Yeah.
Pokemon.
What's yours?
My favorite growing up was Dragonite until I watched the anime and
When
I
we were
saw
on
a
Messenger
adorable.
bag.
Yeah.
What?
The messenger bag Dragonite?
Oh no.
Oh, you never saw that one. Oh, okay.
No.
Which one?
I
Sorry.
just was saying when I saw the anime and I saw Ash get a Bulbasaur, and it just because Bulbasaur was my starter, and like seeing the Bulbasaur just like talk and be on the show, I just was like, nope, that's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen. I am down with Bulbasaur, and now whenever
Cuter than Squirtle?
I think he's cute. He's
Leaf-
Bulbasaur. Like, it's just so adorable to me.
The best thing that Bulbasaur ever has for me personally is that he evolves into Venusaur, and my first pack of Pokemon cards I ever bought, I had
got
the
a
foil Venusaur. No one had it for forever, and I'm like, this is my card. I then got all of them, but
Yeah.
for a long time it was like. But I don't know. I just don't. I think the Leaf starters are always the weakest.
Yeah.
They do say,
Chespin doesn't do anything.
they
for me
do
in this
say
game.
though that in the original red, blue, and yellow that like Bulbasaur is easy mode. Like he's
'Cause
not bad. He's strong and
Yeah.
and
He evolves earlier, doesn't he? Evolve at
they all evolve at the same
I think
time.
just that
no,
he's
but
not
in later
weak against
games
the
they started
first two
evolving
gym
like
badges.
started evolving at 14, 16,
the first
and 18
three,
instead of
yeah.
all 16.
Yeah.
He was great in the beginning. Charmander as a kid, because again he was hard. You had to kind
Yeah.
of train him up because
Because
fire is
Brock
not
would be
super effective.
Yeah.
It's more effective than a normal type.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically just had to jack up my my Charmander and just Ember or whatever the hell the first fire move you get in there, yeah.
Dragon Rage.
But yeah, so and just while we're on the subject of Charmander, I'm gonna get the Mega Charizard. Why? Not this. Have you seen that he has
Really?
two different
Wait,
Mega
you're not
evolutions?
I'm gonna get the X one. Yeah.
Mega. Well, I'm getting the Y version, so we'll get whatever.
Yeah.
But the Mega Charizard X, there's an X and Y. There's two different Megas. The X version, he turns into Flying Dragon. He changes
type.
which is a big deal, and I'm sure Fastiani will go crazy about it. But
Why
I'm
do you make us buy both games?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that.
It's probably a trade.
Oh, is it just a
I
trade?
think it'll be a
thing?
stone
Okay.
trade.
I hope
Okay,
so.
I'm fine with that.
And I've heard
Because I'm
that,
just like,
the
it would make no sense to only have one version be able to transform them one way.
Yeah,
it,
you just
it
have to,
could
you
be
just have
that
to
way,
get
but
like
I
an X
doubt
one.
it.
I'm not sure, or maybe it has to evolve in X, then you can trade it. I don't know, but I hear the online component is super streamlined. Like trading and battling has never been easier, more approachable.
So that's exciting.
I think they've like EV training is not even a thing anymore. Well, it probably still is, but like they've added a mini game for training of your Pokemon.
Where you can
so
like buff your Pokemon.
I never did.
different
I've like maybe competed like in less than 10 battles against another human being.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm more of a PVM guy.
No, and that's and Pokemon. It's about collecting. But I haven't filled out my Pokédex fully since Red and Blue. I got Mew, so I had the entire thing.
Yeah.
This one I'm going to. My goal is to collect all of them.
You're gonna collect
and
all
to do
of
some
them.
battles.
I don't know if you can collect all of them anymore. I hope you can.
Oh wait, I think there's some black. We might have to go back and buy more. I don't know. We'll figure it out. People in the I'm sure one of you that is watching at least is like.
I want to vomit at the thought of collecting all of them.
It's now gotten to the point where I don't think they have "Gotta catch 'em all" as the slogan anymore.
They're like
because
gotta catch some.
Gotta catch enough to make you happy.
Catch some of them.
There's just too many now.
Pokemon.
There's too many.
That's why the Poke Rap is not like fucking 30 minutes long.
Oh my god. We might have to do that. We might have to. Okay. It might be a video. Robert Price asks, final question. Least favorite game of all time. This is one that you should have a great answer for.
I hope you have a great answer.
Because I don't know, if I didn't like a game, I stopped playing it. But you've made it your goal to complete games, and you've completed games like 30 times. So what's your least favorite?
I think I'm gonna say, because I mean I've played some pretty horrible games in my time, but the ones that in recent months, because for the Completionist and being the show and everything, the one that's affected me the most, I have two for a tie. One is Sneak King.
Yep.
For those of you guys who don't know what Sneak King is, it's basically a game where you're the Burger King from Burger King, and you have to sneak around a bunch of different places and feed people hamburgers and French fries and chicken sandwiches and sodas and whatnot. And there's one to complete
it's also
the game.
one of your best. It's a great episode.
Thank you. My angry video game jihad rant in that is my favorite because there's a mission in the second level that you have to give everyone. You have to give the hamburgers, like you have to get an A ranking hamburger rating in 15 seconds. No, it's like 60 seconds. I think you have 1 minute to feed everyone. But the thing is that the game randomly selects who is hungry and who's not. So you have to just hope and pray to God that like that run is the one that has the hamburgers that are close to one another.
Jesus
Christ. It's like trying to like triple star Mario Kart in the later ones it's just you just have to not get blue shelled. Like it's not even you can be as good as you can be, but it's out of your hands.
And literally the percentage of me and my success, if I recall, it was someone did the math based on like my runs and like runs on the internet, and it was I had a .000003675 repeating chance of getting the magical run. So I had less than 1% of a chance. And after doing it, I think I did it for 70 hours straight. I finally did it. And it was just like, I was so angry. And at least that game had a completion bonus of you getting the black sneaking suit, but you get nothing out of it. It's just the outfit is black and that's it. It's so just like, why in the blue hell would you come up with that? I don't know. I mean, again, a completionist is not going to be me playing, who's going to complete a
the
promo
Burger King
game about,
game. No, and the thing is, like, when they made it, they're like, oh, look, it's not a good game, but, maybe someone will play it, it'll be fun.
You get it with a Happy Meal, or you get it with
Look, I'm down. Yeah. I'm down for playing a game about that.
But they didn't know you were going to play it.
Oh, no.
And it was, like, the worst.
If that game company is, like, still alive, I, like, want to have a sit down with them.
They ate Burger King and
died. My second least favorite game, is today's episode of The Completionist that came out this morning, is Heart of Darkness. Holy God, how I hate that game. It's not based on the book.
What is it then? Because I was wondering, like, you just go down a boat for like 3 hours. That's the whole game.
So Heart of Darkness is you play a young boy named Andy whose dog has been.
like Toy Story.
Yeah, it's actually the FMVs are very much like Toy
they got
Story.
FMVs.
Yeah,
Okay.
At a whopping 10 frames per second.
It was an artistic choice.
Yeah. You know, it's a cinematic platformer, so they want to try and go like it's got great music. It's very Universal Pixar and how they present the game, but you start playing the game and everything kills you in one shot. It's rated E for everyone, but everything brutally murders you. Like, monsters eat you, monsters break your neck and break your back.
Okay.
Fireballs come at you and you incinerate and turn into a shoe, because that's the only thing left of your body. It's very brutal, very scary. There's one kind of monster, and it's like a shadow, but there's like hundreds of them. They swarm, and they just run up to you, and they eat your stomach, they eat your, whatever it is, you get, and everything is out to kill you. It's about a 3-hour game, but because the game is so broken and just doesn't work and tricks you, it's almost like I want to be the guy, but it's not trying to be I want to be the guy. It's just like you walk a few feet and then something kills you, and then it's trial and error until you go crazy. In the last 10 seconds of the game, it's just it's a never-ending onslaught of the. His
eyes were closed.
The irony is that these things are called Dark Souls. These little minions, and there's hundreds of them. They pile up, and you have this gun, and you have to try and kill them, and they like fly over you and they eat you. They're again one-hit kills. But when you get to the last 2 screens, the boss of the game appears, and it's like the most generic, like I am the Shadow Lord. It's a guy dressed in all black and has red eyes.
It's a sneaking.
It's the sneaking. It's a sneaking. But just a bunch. He throws fireballs at you that like jump very high, so you have to. And there's so many of these Dark Souls that you can't see the fireballs. So when the animation comes up, you just have to pray to God that you jumped correctly as they're going. And the last screen, there's these 2 crocodile guys. When you kill them, they turn into little eggs, and you have 15 seconds to kill them, because then they turn into the crocodiles again. So the more you kill them, if you do not kill them, they just keep spawning more and more. So you have those crocodile dudes.
Is this supposed to be fun?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Plus the evil guy throwing the fireballs, plus the swarms of Dark Souls, all happening at the same time.
Okay.
Brutal. I fucking hate that game.
Wow.
But you got through it. You're here.
I'm maybe I didn't.
I'm assuming based on this reaction that it's going to be a really hilarious episode.
Yeah.
So. I hope so. I really, there is an angry video game jihad rant in there, so I'm very.
Yay.
You're right. It can't hurt you now.
It can't. I'm done. I
Can't
survived
hurt
it.
you anymore.
What about you, Tro?
Oh man. See, I think if a game's bad, I've never actually stuck it out to complete it. But there's one game that I really, really tried hard to like, and it's Quest 64.
That's one game. I agree with you. That's one game I've always wanted to like.
I've always
It's endearing, but it never pulls off.
No, it never pulls it off. And this was young me, and I hadn't really experienced like bad games up until there. I had a bunch of Genesis games and stuff, and then I moved on to 1064, and my games there were like Mario, Shadows of the Empire, Mario Kart, and a couple
Genesis games.
Yeah, and I've always like had good, pretty good games there, and then I got this Quest 64, and like I really thought it was gonna be good. It looked really cool. The graphics were good, and then it just was never good. It never took off. Never, like, it was just grind.
You just like hoped it got good.
I wanted it, and I wanted it to get good.
There was never a tipping point.
I stuck it out. Yeah, I stuck it out for hours, and it just never. I mean, like days in child time, because I would play it like many days in a row, and I just wanted it to be good. Got lost all the time because it had terrible like maps and stuff, and I couldn't do it. Couldn't finish it, and it was like less bad, more disappointing. It was the most disappointing game I've ever played. So,
what about you, Davis?
Okay, I have. This is a very recent one for me, though. The game is decades old now.
Oh yes.
Mega Man 1. I missed out on the Mega Man. I just didn't have any. I didn't have a system that could play the old ones, and so when they started releasing them on the eShop, I wanted to like get in on it. And everybody said, don't play Mega Man 1. Don't play Mega Man 1.
Yes, but you had to do it. You just
this
had
game
to do it.
It's a masochistic game. It's a game where it's like Inafune, who I love now and is great, but it's like he didn't want me to beat it. It's like he didn't want me to get to the next screen. Everything is there to just fuck with you as a character. They like you're tricked. Every enemy is super mobile. It was like it took me so long, and I beat it using 3DS save state. Essentially, it got on some of the harder stuff. Actually, I will say it's partly my fault because in the first 30 tries, I didn't think I needed to I wanted to get the authentic experience. I didn't want to use the boss order. I wanted to just beat it.
What?
That was my problem right there. Was I tried to just beat it without using the weaknesses. Even when I started using the weaknesses, the bosses became easier, but the levels weren't any easier.
Yeah.
They are fucking hard.
Yeah.
And I beat it, and I feel like I'm better for it. And I'm playing a little bit of Mega Man 2. It's it's gorgeous and amazing and perfect and so nice. But I ended up having to. It took me till 4 in the morning one night where I'm I had my Jack Daniels and my Diet Coke, and I'm I'm fucking finishing this game tonight. And I did. And I stayed up and I beat it. And I wasn't happy because once you beat all the bosses, then there's the Dr. Wily stages. And I told Trono when he came out, I was Yellow Devil is the worst boss in the history of gaming. It's there to fuck you. It's really, 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 really hard to dodge. One shot. Then he, for those who don't know, he starts. He
breaks
comes
up
on.
into pieces.
He comes off screen, so you're just I got to a boss. You gotta dodge all his parts. He comes together and he shoots a tracking thing. So you have to dodge that and shoot him once, and then he comes apart piece by piece and flies to the other side of the room. And you have to rinse and repeat this. I had to watch videos to beat him. And it's basically, I'm I wonder if there's a secret I'm missing. No, you gotta fucking Neo dodge all those things.
Yep.
You know, it's funny, being much older
okay.
now.
Give him a hug, Gerard. He needs one now.
Okay, buddy.
Your story's a lot worse, but this is I've never.
Okay.
If I don't like them, I just don't play them.
But you wanted to finish.
I'm
this one.
what's his name from Ratatouille, the food tester. If I don't like it, I don't swallow. And this game, it became a personal thing. I had to beat it. I did.
You know, when I was older, I never played Mega Man 1. I played I started in 4 or 5, and then I went back and played 1, and I felt like I could easily beat it. But I don't know why that was, because the first one is one of the harder ones.
It's insane, and 2 is so much easier. Oh my god, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But not babying. So it's just it's a really good game.
It's a better designed game.
Yeah.
The levels are varied. They do a lot of cool stuff. The music is great, and it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Also, as a side note, one of the coolest things that we saw at the Escapist Expo is this bar was hosting a whole video game night, and this band.
Oh yes.
This band, awesome. There was a person who speed ran all of Mega Man 2 while the band played all of the music from it. They played the transition, the level music, the boss music. It was one of the best things I've ever seen. It was amazing.
It was a great half hour.
And also Mega Man 2 might have the best video game music ever.
It's funny because I actually had an idea to do a channel all about that. That's what my Let's Play channel was originally supposed to be. It was Greg performing live while I was speedrunning the games, and we never got off the ground because
it's a lot of music to learn too.
It's a lot of music to learn. Yeah, it is a lot. You
gotta learn every level.
You got to be a really talented musician or band altogether.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Really
appreciate
it.
Well, before we go, hawk all your social mediums.
Facebook.com/The Completionist. Twitter.com/JK completes it because Completionist is too long and The Completionist is too long still.
But JK and it on the word completes apparently is not.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, it's a completionist.
Leave off the T for savings.
Yeah. You can find me on Tumblr. I think I'm That One Video Gerard or That One Video Gamer. That's just kind of what my 2 brandings are.
Or any number of our videos generally playing
a cocaine-driven...
A coke, drug lord
yes.
or a terrorist.
Or both.
Or a cocaine-filled terrorist.
Yeah.
Or in our upcoming video,
a not cocaine
cameo.
A not cocaine-filled.
But my inspiration is cocaine.
Is cocaine.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
he plays an office boss.
If you guys go back and look at some of the early Warp Zone videos I'm in, there's always I have the best faces because I'm just, especially that Batman one.
Yes, you're
god,
slow mo. Me just
milk that. And we're yeah. You have a great face.
Hey, it's very expressive.
Yeah, and I think it's from your video games.
Yeah.
All the myriad emotions and reactions you've had to all the games you had to complete. It's just you have mastered every face you can be. You're the best face model ever.
People love when I stream because I'll play a game for the first time and my reaction's like I genuinely feel what I'm seeing in the game.
Yeah.
I streamed Conker's Bad Fur Day and the whole time I was like,
it's so raw. He's just so raw.
No, like the whole time, and the audience is like screen capping me and making gifs and stuff because they love it.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Sweet.
All right.
Well, thanks, man.
We have an episode.
Yeah,
there
Thank
we go.
you guys. Thank
All
you
right,
guys.
guys. Are we holding hands?
Are we doing
Yeah,
the?
thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
How was before we go? How was this?
Great. I had
Cool.
two. I had two.
You had two
I
two
drank
cups
two.
of coffee. It was so good.
So
He had
good. I
two
had
Drank
two.
it twice.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. Follow us, check out other videos, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Rock and roll.